All right. And we're live. How's it going, guys? We're still trying to figure out how to do this because it's been like a million years since I've live streamed. So I was trying to use YouTube's dashboard, which was a mistake. So I just used the way I normally have always done it, and it worked perfectly fine. I just hope people jump over from the old live stream to this live stream. I should probably delete that live stream right now. I'm going to do that right now. Edit. And they've changed that too. Why do things always change? Can't they keep things the same? But anyway, how's it going, guys? Let's see, it's Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I wanted to do a quick live stream. One, because I haven't done it in a long time, and two, I wanted to introduce someone very important to me. Anna, this
Hi.
is the YouTube family. YouTube family, Anna.
Hello.
So it's Anna, A-N-A. You know what? I should put your social handles, like Twitter and Instagram and stuff. I'll do that after we're done. People are jumping over. What's good, Jesse? But yeah. Anyway, just wanted to say hi, do a quick introduction, answer some Q&As, and go from there. But first of all, let's see, what's a good place to start? How we met?
Should I introduce myself?
Yeah, introduce yourself. I'm going to stop talking.
Hi, my name is Anna, one N. I am 27 years old, and I'm from Brazil. And I have been living in the U.S. for 2.5 years.
USA.
Yeah. I thought I was going to go back to Brazil, but then I got married, and this is my life now. But yeah.
Basically, I tied her down. I said, you can't go back. You're mine now. No. But yeah, so you were working here for a couple years. I had known you a little before that, too.
Yeah.
Quite a bit before that.
How we met?
Well, I mean, so we both had channels. We both would do K-pop reactions, which I think is funny that we both were in that same niche. I think that's probably how we actually met. That's how you stumbled upon my videos. But anyway, when was it? 2015? 2016?
No, 2015 was when I met your channel.
Okay.
Because I got into K-dramas, and I didn't know about K-pop yet, but I got into K-dramas, and I got obsessed with them. And
They're
YouTube
addicting.
started, they're very good. I got, like, for 3 years, that's all I watched. And YouTube started recommending some K-pop music. BTS was the first group that really got me into K-pop. So I've been...
BTS is like the first group to get a lot of people in.
For everybody.
It's a gateway drug.
Yeah. And then I started following a bunch of people because, you know, you're only a lonely K-pop fan when your friends are not K-pop fans. And I found your channel and a bunch of other channels, and...
I was just one of many. I was one of many. And, you know, I had to make myself stand out somehow. Did you know I had live streams? Like, did you see my live streams? Or was it just reactions? Like, oh, this white dude's reacting to K-pop.
Yeah, it was just, I just watched the reactions for, you know, the
To
groups
her,
that
I was just a reactioner. But I wanted to be so much more.
That you didn't know I existed yet.
No clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
Until 2017, that's when...
2 years later?
2 years later.
You stalked me for 2 years?
I didn't stalk anybody.
Oh, man.
But
I would have stalked you for 4 years. Just saying.
it was Kenny. Kenny was... I followed, like...
Kenny Boy Slay.
Exactly. I followed Kenny on Instagram as well. And he posted a picture with you and a bunch of other reactors on KCON.
Yeah, that was KCON 2016 or KCON 2017?
2017.
2017. That's when I had a whole bunch of YouTubers over for like an after party at my place. Because I was living right up there in New Jersey, like 30 minutes from KCON New York, which isn't actually New York, plot twist. It's in New Jersey, but they just want to make it sound cool. But I was like, man, I live so close to this. So I had a bunch of guys over. It was like Josh Dove, Ridgie, Kenny, Dre, Akbar, Chance. And we were doing some reactions together, hanging out, taking selfies and stuff. And that's hilarious that's how you saw my Instagram.
Yeah.
Because Kenny took a selfie and then tagged me in it.
Yeah. And, I never thought of looking you up on Instagram because, I just didn't. I just accept the world as it is. And I just don't look for stuff.
Right.
But then I saw that he tagged you. I was like, oh, it's the cute guy from YouTube. And I clicked
That's me. Still just a reactioner.
And then I got on your Instagram page and I saw your Instagram and you're just so cute. And I thought I would say hi. And I really thought that I would say hi, but my message would go to a spam box. And
it did.
That's
it
literally
did.
What happened.
I saw you followed me.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, click. And obviously, when anyone new follows, I just see who they are. And I think you had a public page because I could look at pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, she's really attractive. And I was like, oh, she's from Brazil. That's interesting. And I was like, oh, she's a Christian. That's interesting too. Because I'm also a Christian, which is neat. And so anyway, when I saw all of those things, and I saw you were I don't know, a couple years younger than me.
1 year younger.
1 year. And so everything kind of was well, I might have to slide into the DMs a little bit. And so I messaged her, and then only after I messaged you did it tell me that you messaged me before that.
Yeah.
Because I think it was in spam. And then once I message you, it says, oh, well, let's bring it out of spam and bring it into your normal inbox.
Right.
And I saw you had already messaged me. I was like, oh, well, that's a good sign. But we just started talking. And I think...
We didn't know that, by the way. We started talking, I thought that you just answered my message for the longest time. And then one day we talked about it, and it was I actually messaged you at the same time that you messaged me. And that was just cute, because you would say hi just because you decided to say hi. And I said hi because I just decided to say hi.
It was funny that we both thought we messaged each other for the first time.
Yeah.
And we did... But also she did it first, chronologically.
Meaning you should shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
You should always shoot your shot.
Yeah, if you don't, you'll never know.
But that was 2017, March.
That's 4 years ago.
That's 4 years ago. And it was way before I decided to come to the U.S. I wasn't going to come.
Yeah, because I think you were going to go to Canada or something.
I was going to go to Canada.
And then, we started talking, and then we started talking more frequently, and then what happened next?
Well, we weren't going anywhere because I was in Brazil. I had no intention in coming to the U.S., and you had clearly no intention in just moving to Brazil. So it was when you start really liking someone and you can't have anything with them, it was just frustrating. And
long distance is the worst. I'm sorry. It's terrible. I'm not a fan. There's pros and cons, but there's mostly cons. Anyway, so I think, long story short, it just got to be too annoying for me because I'm I like this person and we have good chemistry when we're talking, but we can't see each other.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, it just felt like it was difficult to increase the commitment when we couldn't see each other in person.
Right.
It's one thing if you start out in person, and you're seeing each other at school, whatever, and then you go long distance for a little bit because you already know what things are like in person.
Right.
We didn't have that. So...
It was difficult.
It was very difficult.
Yeah.
Muito difícil.
Muito difícil.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... we stopped talking after 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
And we just stayed like that for a long time, and then we started talking again.
Well, yeah, because you fast forward, we didn't talk for 2 years,
Yeah.
And then, we basically just completely went separate ways.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until December of 2020. No, 2019.
Yeah.
2019. that I was like stalking your Instagram. Sometimes I would stalk her Instagram because even though we stopped talking because of like the distance, I still was into her. Like I still kind of always wished that things could have worked out. So I was doing my, I don't know, quarterly stalking report on her. It was at least once a quarter. I would stalk her and see what was going on. And I saw that she, like a year before, was like dating someone. So she was dating someone. I was thinking, I guess it really can't work now. And then it was December of 2019 where I was stalking you again, and I didn't see the guy anymore.
Yeah.
He was gone. Like, gone. Like, her whole page was purged of this guy. and I was like, okay. And I also saw that she was living in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
In the U.S.
Yeah.
Which ain't too far from Maryland. Compared to how before we were Brazil in the U.S., which is like there. Anyway.
Life just took a turn. I mean, I wanted to go to Canada to just travel and live abroad for a while. And the friend who was going with me, who was the friend that introduced me to K-pop, wasn't going to go anymore after Josh and I were not even talking anymore. And I was like, I'm going to go alone to this country and spend a lot of money that I don't actually have to just stay there for a few months. It makes no sense. So I searched for another way to travel and live abroad in a way that I could sustain myself and not get money from my mom. And I decided to become an au pair. And I came to take care of kids. And that program is available in the U.S. and not in Canada. So I just came to the U.S. and to Boston. And that was it. Like, we didn't even plan on being on the same country at some point of life, but that just happened.
It happened. And so I saw that once again, there was an opportunity. And so I messaged her and just said, something real benign, like, hey, I hope you and your family have a great Christmas. God bless you, blah, blah, blah. You know those types of messages. You know those messages. It's those messages when you're like, hey, I kind of like you. I want to see if you're still doing anything single-wise or if you're not available and I like you. It's one of those messages. And it turns out she was single.
Yeah.
And then we started talking again.
Yes.
She was reluctant.
I was. I mean...
She didn't want to talk. But I kept on trying. She said, this isn't a good idea. And I said, yeah, you're right, And I was like, so how have you been?
That was exactly what you did.
And then she was like, we tried this before. And, you were the one that wanted to stop talking. I'm like, I know, it's crazy. I was like, so what have you been up to? Like... and I kept trying. It was probably after my third time where she finally started to be like, okay, this is what I've been up to. This is how life's been. And we started talking. And it wasn't very soon after that. It was like a month after that or less where I planned to come see you.
Yeah. Because
she was just a plane trip away at this point, like a 1 hour plane trip.
Yeah.
And 1 hour plane trip isn't bad at all. When Brazil was way further away. So I went from her being in a different country to being an hour flight away. So I was like, let me go see her. Yeah. So I went and I saw her.
Yes, you did.
And then, the first thing I said was like, will you marry me? That's not what happened. Wouldn't that be funny, though?
But that wasn't too far.
No, it was, we started to see each other, like, more than once a month, probably around there.
I mean, look, I don't know when the Netflix is gonna call us or Hallmark or someone is gonna make a movie out of this because our relationship was just ridiculous. We started seeing each other in January.
Para nosotros.
Ridículo. We started seeing each other in January, and then the pandemic started in March. And I was going to come see your parents, and I couldn't.
She was gonna come visit me, but then COVID happened. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I literally had to cancel my trip because I lived with other people that were not comfortable with me traveling. And I had to cancel my trip on the day before that I was coming here. We were talking on the phone, like, this is the time that you're going to pick me up. And we're planning out everything and dinner with your family.
I know.
I couldn't meet them for another 2 months, I think. I came on
At
June.
least. That COVID kind of threw a whole wrench into our romantic plans. Because we were just finally seeing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was not fun at all. And then you had to drive to see me.
And I had to drive to see her because they weren't flying. And it was like an 8-hour drive.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You shouldn't accept anything less, by the way. You should only accept someone that will drive 8 hours to see you during a global pandemic.
I had a shot. And I wasn't going to make the same mistake twice.
Yeah. But it was difficult.
Yeah, it was. It was difficult, but I feel like it was something that it's one of those things that if you really want to do it, you'll find any reason in any way to do it.
Yeah.
But if you kind of don't want to do it, you'll find any reason not to. And it's the same way with people's romantic life. I've been in that place where I just didn't want to date anyone, whether it was like insecurities or I was still hurt from a past breakup or something. Mm-hmm. So like in those seasons, I'll make up any excuse not to.
Yeah.
But when you actually want to, you'll make any excuse and you'll find any way to do it.
Right.
And so that's where I was like, I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was interested. I wanted to see this thing out.
Yeah.
And if we did and we saw it out and it didn't work out, that's fine. I think we were both okay with that possibility.
In a way, the pandemic's actually helped a little bit because I could stay in the country for longer because of it.
Oh, they extended your visa.
Exactly, because my people, all the au pairs, which by the way is just a fancy name for a foreign nanny.
Yeah.
Like just girls that come from other countries to take care of kids. The parents that have au pairs, they didn't have another alternative because everybody was working from home and, the girls were leaving to go to their country and nobody could travel to the U.S. So the companies were just like, what the heck, just let us keep these girls in the country for longer because then the parents don't have to struggle with childcare. So I could stay for another 6 months.
Which makes sense that they would extend the current au pairs visas because they can't get anyone else because international travel is completely shut down. But anyway, so that gave us more time to date, and then
read books
together and watch shows together. We'd be on the phone and be like, all right, are you on the same Netflix show? Yeah. episode 2, 3, 2, 1, play. And we both play at the same time and you'd be like, Josh, that's not the same episode. I'm like, it's season 2, right? And you're like, no, we're on season 3. It was difficult, but somehow we made it work.
Yeah.
Well, how long did we date before I proposed?
We started dating in January, and you proposed to me in October.
October.
Yeah. I mean, we officially started dating in February.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I asked you out.
Yeah.
But
we were seeing each other for 10 months.
10 months before I popped the question.
A little less than 10 months.
See, I don't need more than a year. I have this theory that you can really figure out in a year whether or not you're working with someone well or not. And if you don't know, they're probably not the one after a year. But that's me personally. Everyone has a different timeline, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But I knew. So, 8-month-ish. Raven.
Yeah, 8-month-ish.
But yeah. Jesse says, I have so many questions. Well, feel free. This is the time to ask questions. You can ask anything you want, and we have to answer by law. It's a contract in our marriage.
We don't make the rules.
We have a YouTube law marriage thing. Till death and YouTube do us part. But anyway, I'm reading the comments now.
Yeah.
What are you seeing?
My cousins are watching this. Of course my cousins are watching this. I have no idea how you guys got this link.
That's funny.
But hi.
Can they speak English?
No, they cannot.
Okay. Here. You'll get someone that constantly looks at you with love like Anna looks at Josh.
Aww.
That's nice. Oh, man. It's been a long time and you're married. Isn't that funny? It's been so long, and then I I basically dipped out of YouTube and stopped uploading, and now I'm back and I'm married.
Yes,
But
you
that
are.
was kind of like something that I wanted to do the whole time, because I had desired to eventually meet someone. You know, I think most people feel that way. Plus, I had moved from New Jersey back down to Maryland, and so I had a lot of growing to do and getting situated in a new house,
Yeah.
getting situated in a new job.
Right.
And then I started investing all the time that I used to invest into like YouTube and things like that. I was investing into my job and investing into getting to know a whole lot of people, like expanding my network, making friends, going out with people. I was on a lot of dating apps, you know, so I was like all these Christian dating apps trying to like, I went on a lot of dates with like different people, which was a disaster. Online dating is the worst, guys. It's really bad. Isn't that technically what we did? But we didn't really online date. Neither of us
Yeah.
were on dating apps
Yeah.
at the time. But
Right.
anyway, yeah, online dating sucked. But that's a whole other video.
Do you see yourselves becoming a live vlogging channel?
Where's that?
It's right there.
Who's asking that?
I got you people in the comments.
Jesse says, do you see yourselves maybe becoming a live vlogging channel? So yeah, I mean, she has a channel already, and she had one before she met me.
Yeah.
So we both did YouTube. And for me, I was out of it because there were specific reasons, things I wanted to focus on, things I wanted to do. Because, you know, I reached 100K subscribers, and that was a really big goal I was trying to set for myself. It's like I wanted to grow my channel to that point. But, you know, it's almost impossible to monetize a reaction channel because it's all copyrighted videos. You can't make money on that. And that's fine. But my goal was that'd be cool to start putting more effort into YouTube once I had a different idea other than K-pop reactions. And there have been times where I do miss like keeping up with things and keeping up, especially with my favorite groups, you know. But I wanted to make YouTube my career, and the only way to do that is to pivot away from reactions. So I was already just trying to think like, okay, what am I going to do different? And it was really hard to think of something else that I could really sink my teeth into. But also I wanted to start meeting people. And so I think it was somewhere during our dating life, those 8-9 months of dating, that we had discussed possibly starting a channel together.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? I forget, it was during our dating.
Yeah, probably. Yes, I think so. I probably wrote it down. I think I wrote it down.
I'm sure, yeah. But, you know, it just seemed like such a cool fit because we both enjoy making videos. You know, we're
Right.
both creative.
Yeah.
We both already had channels. So we figured if we ever got married, that it would make sense. It's something we could do together, something we'd enjoy.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we don't know 100% on what that would look like.
Right.
You know, but what's funny is we already do, like, even when the camera's not recording, we're already sort of podcasting all the time with our conversations. And what I mean by that is if you ever watched her and I have breakfast, lunch, or dinner together, all we do is have discussions about all these different things. Very, very infrequently. It's not very often that we're just like talking about like one small little thing, like
Right.
like oh, it's a nice day outside. Pass the milk. No,
Yeah.
it's not that way.
Right.
We're talking about everything and anything.
Yeah.
You know, from the economy to international trade to things going on.
Quantum physics.
Quantum physics is a big topic of discussion.
Power of thought.
Yeah, just all these different things.
Random things.
And we keep thinking, like, this is so much fun to talk about these things. And you know, like someone you have a really good conversational chemistry with, someone you could talk to forever. And just talk and talk and talk and talk, and it's so much fun.
So much that you married them.
So much that you married them.
Have to.
A podcast partner for life. Anyway, that's how I felt with her. That was my first real attraction because, like, yeah, I mean, I saw you on Instagram, so, like, I knew you were attractive. I knew I was attracted to you. But for me, it was more of, like, a box I was checking. Like, yeah, I'm attracted, so what else is there? Because, you know, there's other people you can be attracted to, but then when you meet them, you're like, yeah, we don't have any chemistry, so
Right.
what would be the point?
Right.
But we talked on the phone, and I knew, you know, we both had such great chemistry
Yeah.
that it just worked out. But anyway, that all being said, we would love to start doing like a weekly stream together and just letting it develop into what it will become.
Yes.
But yeah, what else are people saying? Let's see. Josh with Akbar and John might be the first K-pop reactioner I watched. The K-Will reaction. Please don't. That was a good one. And Block B's her reaction. That's funny. A lot of people started watching us from the K-Will reaction. I think it's still our most watched reaction. There's someone named Clara who just said, like, that she's from Brazil too, I guess.
Ooh, then where is it?
Right here. Clara
Then
PS.
it's Clara.
Clara.
Clara. Oi, tudo bom?
Let's see.
Sempre tem um brasileiro.
We didn't get the snap at the beginning. My arm. I haven't done it in so long. I still get
I
it.
can't do that.
You can just like go. There we go. That's it.
It's my version.
That's her version. Everyone's got different versions. But yeah. What else are people saying? Oh, look at this. J&J said, my brother dated a girl for 8 years and they broke up. And then he marries my sister-in-law who he dated for 7 months.
When you know, you know.
When you know, if she's the one, you will know. That's the thing. And I hate to say this because I've met so many people, and life is sticky. No one thing will work for everyone. But I tend to lean more on the side of most things are consistent throughout people.
Yeah,
we're all the same species. If you don't know if someone's the one after 7-8 years, get out of there because you're wasting time. You're wasting time where you're spending time with someone that you could be spending with the person you're supposed to be with.
Right. And it's so tiring.
It's so
really
exhausting.
Tiring.
Yeah. Anyway.
But it's that business thing that I told you about that I keep with me for everything. That is like, if you go into business with someone or a company, which you apply to your life, if you get in a relationship and you don't like it in the beginning, it's not gonna get better because people try their hardest at first. Like, they want to impress you, they want to captivate you, they want to impress you at first, and then you just wait for things to get better and you wait to discover things that are worth it. That's not gonna happen. So if you don't like it, like on your first year, just get out. Why would you stay? Don't do that to yourself.
Value yourself. Or we should say love yourself, because that was like the whole BTS thing.
What's it like changing countries?
Yeah, what's it like changing countries?
It's very scary.
You gotta have a lot of courage.
It does. I remember it was always my dream to travel and live abroad for a while. I always knew I was going to leave. Always knew, like since a child, I knew I was going to leave at some point. And at some point I started teaching myself English and I came. But the week before I came, I almost canceled the whole thing because I was so scared. It was so scary, and you think like, why am I doing this? My family's here, my friends are here, and it's just fear of the unknown, of the things that you don't know. And then after I got here, the first month was really hard because you just have to adapt to everything, to the food, to people not speaking your language, and your brain kind of thinks it's weird sometimes that nobody's speaking your language at all. And
you didn't even get English classes. You taught yourself English.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's an extra hurdle, the whole language barrier.
I mean, when I came, I was already good, and most au pairs don't, like, they come to learn English, but I came to study other things. But it's just the culture is very different. But the best thing is, like, when you go to another country, there's just so much, your brain expands, like, so much, and you realize that the world where you live is just so tiny, and it's not a bad thing at all. But when you talk to different people from different places and you just live their lives in their shoes, like, it's like you understand a lot more things and you become more flexible, and you grow. Like, it's like your brain is growing. So I recommend to anyone that can. It's scary and it's very comfortable to stay in your own house, but it's amazing to just go out there and discover the world. The world is beautiful and there's so much to be discovered, and you learn so much from people and cultures and everything that it's really worth it. You become less hateful, I think, because there's just so many differences that you just don't care about them anymore,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Josh, you always said you wanted to get married around 25 and before 30, so congrats.
Yay!
That's funny. For old time's sake, Josh, are you eating and sleeping regularly? You had a problem with those in the past. She's right. Yes, and yes. Pretty often we go to bed around the same time.
Yeah.
You know, and I got work in the morning, so I think my sleep has been fine. You know, kind of fine.
Yes. It's here's the thing. He's been eating very well because that's my thing.
She's a great cook.
I do. I cook and I bake a lot, and I do some videos on Instagram on that. But we're not used on sleeping in the same bed, and we're just getting. I pass out, but he doesn't.
Yeah, well, she's a deep sleeper, and I'm a light sleeper.
Which usually happens. Usually you have a person that does something like X and another person that does like Y, and they're opposite, and they marry each other.
Well, that's what happened. Because I'm a very light sleeper, so I'm still getting used to the whole like sharing a bed thing and all that. You know, but it's going well.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Together as a couple.
But he's eating all his meals because I make sure that he does.
It's true.
Because I think about food all the time.
Sometimes snacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's this mean?
They're asking if we're gonna make vlogs, which we just say.
We should. Well,
Yeah.
we'd like to do live streams at least, like once a week or twice a week, but vlogs on top of that would be fun too.
Can I say that em português?
Please.
A gente pretende fazer vídeos juntos, mas a gente ainda tá descobrindo quais vídeos a gente vai fazer. E todas as vezes que a gente fizer juntos, se a gente fizer em inglês, que vai ser em inglês porque ele não fala português, eu vou legendar os vídeos em português para que o meu povo também possa entender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Just that we're figuring out what kind of videos we're gonna do together, but when we record, I want to subtitle the videos in Portuguese.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's what I do when I do my videos on Instagram. I subtitle them in Portuguese if I'm speaking English, and in English if I'm speaking Portuguese.
Makes sense.
Because I got you. I think about people.
What's this? I struggle with leaving my own house, so mad respect to you for leaving the country. I feel that way. Thank you, Anna, for keeping him alive. She does every day. You guys learned some Portuguese since you guys gotten together? Yes.
And how many... Sim.
Sim.
How many words do you know?
Like 4 or 5. Instead of fuego, it's fogo. For fire.
Yes, it is.
Porque is porque.
It's why.
No is no. No, it's no.
It's now.
Now. See, I was even wrong about that.
How is beans? Do you remember beans?
Feijão.
Feijão.
Feijão. I know it was something funny. What else? What else?
Obrigada.
Obrigada.
You say tá bom a lot.
Tá bom. See, I just did it again.
It's because of my mom. You always say com
Saudade.
Deus.
There's saudade again.
Saudade.
I would really love a podcast. It's 4:38 a.m. right now here in the Philippines, and I like listening to both of you while waiting for sleep. Oh, that's so funny.
I think if I were hearing like I do this, I told you this before, like before we got married, I had a lot of anxiety and it was causing me problems to sleep, so I would just put a video on. But if I put a video like this and someone is laughing all the time like I am doing, I would just start laughing as well, trying to
funny.
sleep. And that would not work. So good luck. Good luck to you.
Good luck.
Yeah. Saudade is a very pretty word. It is very pretty.
What does it mean?
It means missing someone, but it's the noun of it. It's the word that does not exist in English.
Is it almost like... So it's just missing someone. That's what
Yeah.
it means.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can, instead of saying like, oh, I feel saudade, you just say saudade. And you know what that means. Yeah. We use that word a lot. Yeah. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how is your Portuguese so far? I mean, when it's Portuguese and not Spanish, he does a lot of Spanish and hopes that
I
it's
know
Portuguese.
some Spanish. You know, so it's like I wanna jump to what it is that I actually know.
Yeah.
But it's not the same thing. This is where it tricks you, because some words are the same. Very few, but
Yes.
some words are the same. I'd say maybe 1 out of 20 words.
Maybe more. I think
1 out of 10?
2 out of 10 probably.
2 out of 10. So 20%, it's the same words. So if you were fluent in Spanish, you would be able to pick up a lot if you're just listening to people talking Portuguese. So that's a little, tricky. And then a lot of words, like 4 or 5 out of 10 words, are similar. Like instead of difícil, it's
It's difícil.
difícil. Something small. Or instead of fuego for fire, it's fogo.
Yeah.
So there's like a little variation of what the word is.
Yeah.
And then the other ones, the other 4 out of 10 or whatever is left, is just different. It's really different from Spanish.
Yeah.
So they are very different languages.
We're practicing. I really need to work better. This is the thing. When you're the only person that speaks a certain language and you speak the other language that everybody else speak, it's really hard to just switch to your own. So sometimes we're trying to practice words, but it's hard for me to just switch to Portuguese because I'm just so used on speaking English all the time in here. And it's easier. Now, I took care of kids, and, I tried to do the same thing, to speak Portuguese to them. Didn't last week. It's very difficult because they don't understand, and you're the only person, and it's difficult to keep it up when you're the only person.
True.
So we'll try. We'll keep
Yeah,
trying.
it's a work and effort.
And it's a very difficult language, too. So it's okay. It's okay.
You ever listen to K-pop, Anna?
Oh, yeah. I listen to K-pop a lot. I learned a lot of choreographies.
Choreographies and...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had a K-pop channel.
I did have a K-pop. It still exists. I just don't do K-pop reactions anymore. But, I did. I was a huge K-pop fan. Like, huge. I still know and I still have a lot of the music, but I don't know anything recent.
Yeah, me too. Like, obviously, I was in that world for so long, but then when you stop making reactions, you stop, like, watching all the new channels that are dropping new MVs, and, like, I'll get a message for every once in a while from people saying, oh, Blackpink just dropped a new album, or...
Yeah, I think Blackpink was the last group that I saw debuting.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like,
Okay.
I was really into Mamamoo. And I was
Oh,
like,
they're so good, though.
Mamamoo is already my girl group, so I don't care about this new group.
What I liked about them is they were so different, in their sound.
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't just their personalities, that was different too, but their sound was different.
It was very unique.
It was unique, because they brought in jazz, essentially, the big band feel.
It was great.
Mamamoo was kind of like a sassy twist on things, where it wasn't like bubble pop or, mainstream K-pop. It was pretty unique sounding,
Yeah.
Anyway, Jessie has to go. Bye. Bye, Jessie.
Bye, Jessie. Sleep well. Have a good night.
Anyway, they say you have a nice smile, which I agree with Mary.
Oh, thank you.
She does.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, you were into BTS. I liked Epic High. I think we both liked Epic High.
I did like Epic High.
Yeah.
I had like my favorite groups were like, it was BTS, Big Bang, Shiny, EXO, and Mamamoo. Those are, and I really liked 17 as well.
17.
17, I watched everything that they had because I thought they were hilarious.
They
and
are
I knew
funny.
all of them.
Yeah.
And it's just, it was just funny to me. I liked the reality shows, and I liked that stuff because it was funny, and it was kind of, there was not a lot of evilness to it. Like, there was not...
Yeah, it was pretty pure.
Yeah, and harmless and funny.
Yeah.
So I just liked watching it.
Yeah, it's fun. That's how you get to know the group members and everything. And I think most groups do like those reality shows and stuff like that, and challenge videos and whatnot. It's smart. It's smart advertising.
Yeah. I mean, there was one that I was obsessed with that was with Winner. Was it Winner? Yes, it was. They had to take care of worked at a daycare and take care of a bunch of kids and small
that's
children.
funny.
And it was just the best thing.
That's so funny.
I love that so much. So that was just like those bunch of older groups, and
were you there? Did you know Astro?
Oh yeah, Astro was really new when I kind of went away from K-pop a little bit.
Okay.
And they were I was okay with them, but I already had my groups, you know? It's
Yeah.
like you can only know so many.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the number of debuts seem to just double every month. You know, because I was in K-pop from 2014 until 2016, 17, 18. I can't remember. All I know is that it was a good 3.5, 4 year period. And I just remember there always being some new groups that start here and there, but very few of them were like huge. They kind of started small and stayed small.
Yeah.
And then there was the big groups which was SM, YG, and JYP. Those three entertainment companies seemed to produce most of the K-pop that people were listening to.
Yeah.
And there was always exceptions. You know, there was a lot of K-hip hop and the underground rapping scene, which was pretty strong. But even within that, it seemed like there was just a few groups or a few companies that made most of the popular music.
Yeah.
It started to get more complicated, I think, after 2015, 2016. There's just so many more groups came out of nowhere. And I think one reason for that might have been people saw the huge success that BTS was having. And BTS started from Big Hit, which was a pretty no-name entertainment company. Nobody knew. I didn't know Big Hit. You know, and Big Hit had other groups, I think, didn't they? But BTS was really the only...
I think they had other artists, but they didn't have any groups.
They didn't have any groups. They had other artists. But it was just really BTS just like climbed their way all the way up.
I've been a fan of BTS since the first time that I saw. The first time that I saw them was on that
dope?
Was dope. It was the K-pop video that got me into K-pop, and I remember texting my friend saying like, "Have you heard of this group? They're kind of awesome." It's like I love them, and I got obsessed because like they were really good.
Yeah.
I liked their music. I liked their lyrics a lot. And they were just so talented that I became obsessed. And I remember feeling like, I feel like everybody should know this group. And now everybody does.
Everyone does.
But yeah, they came out of nowhere, so...
Yeah, I mean, they started small and they truly deserved where they went. Because it was just people recognizing them, like the average K-pop viewer. And they started to watch BTS, and it was clearly in like its own category. I don't know how another way to put it, but you know, it's not like they were doing things incredibly different, but they did it better in so many ways that I think that deserved the attention that it got. And they grew, and their fan base grew until they became a household name, and people were just talking about them. And I think they started to set a precedence for the entire genre by winning American Music Awards and things like that. There may have been others, but as far as I knew, they were the first to be doing that. Some of these big music awards here in the States, they started to win them, not just by a little bit. They had such a strong fan base, it was rivaling EXO's fan base, which EXO, in my opinion, was ranking number one for quite a while.
Yeah.
And so was SHINee, and there were times when they were strong as well. And man, I don't even know what's going on with a lot of these groups anymore.
I don't. The other day, because I still listen to, you know, some K-pop, mostly if I'm doing chores or if I'm working out, like I still listen to it. And the other day I was listening to a song, and I had no idea who sang it, but I was like, I feel like this is Kai. And I looked at it, and I think it's a subgroup that they started with some people from
and one
NCT
person was Kai. Kai was in it.
You guys probably know a lot more than I do, but that I was so confused. It's like I have no idea what this is, but I know that I know these people.
Oh my gosh.
So they just got like different SM just doing what SM does.
SM is just so shameless. The shameless SM, because I feel like that was right at the end of when I stopped making videos, was when SM started NCT 127, the younger group, whatever the name, was that Dream?
Yeah, it was NCT Dream.
NCT Dream. And there was like all these subgroups, and they started with so many members, and they would just kind of cycle between them. And I was like, I'm losing my mind, guys. Like, I liked the old days when you just had a group, and you knew that was the number of members, and you could get to know them. But I started to just feel like, oh man, this is a little overwhelming. You know, people are like, oh, you just have to learn their names. And I'm like, I'm trying. This is a lot, you know, and they kept starting all these new groups. And for me, what that was that is not a setup that is designed to help the individual K-pop group member. that's a setup designed to help the overall performance of the production company.
Right. It's always about the company.
It's always about the company. That's why they set it up that way. So that if anyone wasn't doing what they wanted to do or wasn't as popular, just swap them out with someone else.
Yeah.
You know, like, and they just would look at the metrics and say, who are people talking about on Twitter the most frequently? Which group members are most frequent? And then start to create their own groups. And, you know, so I understand why they do it. It's smart in that sense. But it was like, I don't know how to put it, because I came into K-pop after the golden years of K-pop, what is considered the golden years of K-pop. And then I was in just learning everything that was going on with YG, JYP, and SM, and then a bunch of others. And you start to amass this K-pop knowledge, but you're still biased in the time that you jumped into K-pop.
Right.
Because K-pop changes, obviously. Just everything changes. Everything's always changing. But K-pop kind of changes in the way that the entertainment companies do things, the way they write contracts. You know, we all know about SM slave contracts. It's kind of crazy. You know, so do you support the band member that wants to actually leave? Like EXO, there's been a bunch of people in EXO that just wanted to leave. Do you support them, or do you think that they're betraying the group? And it's like, well, then you look at the contracts and they have like no freedom whatsoever. They have like less freedom than when you were in the military. Yeah. It's like crazy. You know, so it's like, in my mind, people are just going to do what's best for them, and that they probably should. People will do what they do. But for me, and this could be just my bias, my complete bias, but from my perspective, as someone who is multi-fandom, and in my opinion, a lot less biased than the average viewer, because I was kind of outside of it, trying to look at everything at once. After BTS blew up how they blew up, I think it started to get saturated, because people were like, there's a lot of money in this. If we can, every group, every new company was like, we just want to be the new BTS or something. And they were the proof of concept to show that internationally you could be number one from nothing. And so many new bands came out, so many new groups came out, to the point that it was darn near impossible for any reactor like myself to even try to keep up with it. And it's not a bad thing. It just is what it is. Yeah. But quantity and quality are two different things. And I'm not saying the quality went down. I just noticed that the quantity was skyrocketing, because it was the Korean wave, and it was starting to really come this way. It was back in the day, 5 years ago, people didn't know what K-pop was. You know, no one knew. Not here in the States. There were always people that knew for sure, but it wasn't a household name. It wasn't really until BTS that Family Guy did a episode just on K-pop. That never happened. Family Guy didn't talk about no one ever did. No one talked about K-pop. Right. But BTS made it an American thing. It made it a United States thing, because they were starting to rank number one in these music awards in the United States, and they're not from the United States. And so everyone was talking about, like, what is this K-pop? It's like, well, remember Gangnam Style? It was kind of like that. You know, it started becoming an actual thing. And when that happened, when they started to really rank high, I think it just started creating this domino effect, where so many other people were like, let's try to do this. Let's be the new BTS or whatever. And that's also in the same time that SM started doing these NCT groups and everything. And I was just like, I kind of like my groups that I already like. You know, I love my current groups, and I don't know how much room I have in my heart from all these new people, to be honest. I have
so much love, just so much love.
You know, but I really, really enjoyed it. You know, it was a fun adventure doing all those reactions and learning, and you know, because my whole life I only knew American music, and then you start learning about a completely different genre, and you realize within that genre there's all these different subgenres. Right. You know, because K-pop is like saying, oh, it's American pop. Well, that's every genre within American pop. You know, from country to rap to R&B to classical. You could have classical pop. So there's a lot of different variations, and I remember at the very end of my channel I started looking at Turkish pop, Bollywood pop, Kazakhstan, all these different countries. I looked at V-pop too. V-pop I was on for a while, because I feel like they had some good stuff, some real good raw groups and individual artists that I was like, no one's talking about this. Everyone's talking about K-pop, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But no one's talking about V-pop as much. And I was like, you know, like some of the number one people, I started figuring out, well, who are the YGs and the SMs and the JYPs? Who are the EXOs and the BTSs and the Shinies in V-pop? And then you figure out who those people are. And when they drop albums, they get like a few people on YouTube that react to them. Like a few people, but that's it. BTS drops something new, you have at least 10,000 channels.
Right.
At least. It's probably much bigger than 10,000 at this point. So K-pop was getting more saturated, and I wasn't interested in mainstream. I'm more interested, most of my favorite groups, if you guys ever watch me long enough, most of my favorite groups and my favorite music were people that weren't as mainstream. Of course, there was some things that were mainstream, but I think the majority wasn't. And so I just started to slowly transition and try out other music. And then I was like, all right, well, I've got a lot going on in my life right now.
Right.
I kind of felt like I've been there, done that. Like if I want to go back into YouTube, and it's such a huge time commitment.
It's also, we change too.
Well, yeah, you change
I
for
talk
sure.
about this all the time when I talk like with my friends that know me for a while, because I used to be into so many things that I'm not anymore, just because you grow older and you don't anticipate how much you're gonna change, but you will.
You will. There's no way to predict it either.
No, and it happens so you can survive. So, you know, you look at people that are older than you and you can't imagine yourself doing the things that they do, but it's just because you're not there yet. And then you get there and your whole body and your whole mind already is on a different setting.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're just not in the reaction setting anymore.
No.
Just because we have other things that we're living in, and our brains are just interested in different things, and there's so many interesting things.
We both have so many interests, and so many of them intersect. So there's a lot of stuff you and I could talk about and make content about.
Yeah.
K-pop was one of them, you know, and that was a long time ago for both of us.
Oh yeah.
So
as it was.
You know, sure, we could make more reactions. We could do them together, you know, and that'd be fun. But we might just enjoy doing something else so much more.
Yes.
You know, we just got to figure out what that is. But yeah, Raven says, there's literally a newer group right now that basically is BTS 2.0 with their international popularity. Honestly, it's kind of cringy. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Well, that's the thing. Anyone who's number one will not be number one for very long, not for more than a couple years. And that's true with everything in economics and in country rankings. Like USA was number one for how long? But they're not going to be for very long. No country that's number one is number one for another 100 years. So that is what it is. You know, BTS was clearly number one, and they're going to get replaced. Or not replaced, but there will be someone else who has more views or more people showing up to the concerts or buying albums. However you want to measure that metric of success.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. My mother and I would play the music game. I got her hooked on so many things. She hooked me. We went to so many concerts, saw Pink Floyd. There's so much good music out there.
Yeah.
You know.
I got my cousin, Lara, I got her into K-pop because we did like the music game too.
Nice.
She would just like I would have to figure out what music she was singing.
Yeah.
And then we started watching, you know, K-dramas together. It was funny because she really liked one of them. And then we finished it and she was like, so where is season 2? I was like, oh no. That's not how this works. They just do one season and that's it. And you have to live with it. That's
so boring. I would lose my mind. If you're saying they make one season and they don't typically make a second one?
No, it's a whole story. It's from 16 to 20 episodes and that's it.
Wait, so do they wrap it up though?
They do.
Oh, well then that's fine.
Yeah, but the one that we watched, they didn't. They
so it was
wrapped
a cliffhanger?
it up and yeah. And then they ended
cliffhangers.
it. She actually messaged me like a month ago or so and asked me like, did they ever do a second season? I was like, no.
Oh my gosh.
No, they did not.
That's
it was
the
a really
worst.
good one too.
But yeah. Raven says, honestly, K-pop reaction has been downhill. Haven't watched a K-pop reaction since like 2019. K-pop got me comfortable to listening to other music in different languages. That's the thing though, is I've been hearing that too. I mean, I think it started getting saturated kind of after, a couple years after JAJ, if you guys remember us all doing our first reaction channel with my college friends, Akbar and John. Because John was one of the people who was in the United States and just loved K-pop. You know, we had never heard of it. And we started talking about it because of Gangnam Style. Psy from, I think he's SM.
No.
He's YG?
He's YG.
He's YG. Yeah, you're right. He is YG. Epic High's Tableau. Is he also YG? Okay. Got it. But yeah, anyway, that really started, because of how viral that went, it really put K-pop on the map, but for not necessarily the right reasons. Because people now think that, oh, that's what K-pop is. It's like a silly video that's just for comedy that has a catchy tune. And I'm like, no, there's so much more to it. But, you know, what do you do?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it was a good thing in the past.
Yeah. I think we watch reactions because there's nobody really that you can talk about, like, how you feel about something that you watched. You want to share it, so you watch someone else reacting to it. But after a while, you get that. you get that, and then you move on. So it's okay. It's okay to move on.
It's okay. It is.
But yeah.
Yeah. So what's up next for us?
I don't know. I mean, we want to do content together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
That's as far as we've gotten.
I mean, I still make my own content on Instagram, and I have abandoned my channel just because my whole channel was K-pop, and it's still there, but it's very different from what I do now. So if you ever go to one and the other, you can see that, how different they are. But I do my cooking videos, and I do my just message videos. I like to share, perspective about life, just because it's interesting to hear other people. And, sometimes you can just talk about something and you realize that other people can beneficiate. Is that how you say that?
Benefit, yeah.
Benefit.
We could be the beneficiary of something. But yeah,
you can benefit.
Perspective is so important, you know,
Yeah.
and it's such a cool thing that we live in the digital age where you can check out another person's perspective from another country, and that's essentially what you're doing, is you're bringing a unique perspective to so many topics. And, I love to hear you talk.
Aw.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny because I'll still get emails from companies that are saying, like, will you review a product? And I'm like, listen, bro. I'm like, number one, I haven't made a video in a year. And number two, I was a K-pop reactor. Why are you asking me to review an electric toothbrush? But every once in a while, I'll get something that's kind of similar. Like, what do you call it? I got the snack box, Tokyo Treats, which I've done reviews for them before. And they just hit me up again last week. And they were like, if we send you one of our premium boxes, will you review it? And I'm like, heck yeah. So we're going to do that as soon as it shows up. I
am so excited.
We'll do another live stream, or we'll just pre-record it.
I want all the snacks.
We're going to get them. She has so many sweet teeth. You can't even say she has a sweet tooth, because every single tooth is sweet. She has sweet teeth. She's always eating something sugary.
Yeah, but this is why I do, I started doing my cooking and baking videos that I'm starting, very recently, because I make them and I need to tell someone else what I made, because I want a treat, but then we'll just go and drive around and, to my in-laws.
That's what we do.
Give it away.
I live near so many of my family, with my parents and all my siblings. We all live in like a 10-20 minute radius of each other. So when she bakes something, like, she just decides, I'm going to make a Boston cream pie today. And then she'll bake it, and we'll be like, well, we can't eat all this. And it's like, all right, well, let's drive around to all the siblings and all my parents, and we'll give it away. And they enjoy it. They enjoy it.
Yeah. So, I know myself, and I know I want sweet things, but I can't have them in the house because I'm going to eat it all. So I give it away.
What's your current Instagram called?
Ana Tio Carolina. My name is
Is
Ana
that it?
Carolina. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm also going to put it in the description.
Ooh.
But I'm going to put it in the comments too, just so everyone that's watching now can look at it. Boom.
Yeah, that's my Instagram.
Do you want to put your channel?
You can.
What is it?
It's very old, people. It's very old.
What's your channel?
It's called Y Korea.
YWHY?
No.
Y, like the letter Y?
UAI.
UAI.
You read it like Y, but it's also Portuguese words, so I just mixed them.
Y Korea?
Mm.
Like that?
Yeah, but there's a comma in here.
Where?
There. And then a space. And then a question mark.
Really?
Yeah. I made it really hard for people to
Yeah, you
know
did.
about my
You didn't
channel.
want it to be easy.
No. Yeah, I just did it for fun. And I kind of, I was super, super reserved about my channel, so I made it very difficult for people to find it.
Makes sense. Raven says there are better mediums to talk about K-pop nowadays too. Reactions felt like a stepping stone to people to talk about K-pop with other people. It's true because like right now there aren't podcasts where people are discussing the music industry in Vietnam. I haven't seen any. There may be, but I haven't seen a channel that's dedicated to discussing the production and the economics behind it. But there certainly is that involving K-pop. So I feel like you start with reactions, which it's an easy thing to do. You just be like, hey guys, today we're going to watch this video. We're going to see how it is. Like, haha, that's funny. Did you guys like it? I liked it. Comment, like, subscribe. It's like the easiest thing that anyone can make. And then I feel like you do that long enough, you graduate to making podcasts about it. And so Akbar and I would do some of those. We made K-pop, what was it, K-Cafe or K-Talk. It was K-Talk, which is still a channel, I think, K-Talk. And we would talk about the industry and these groups and the contracts.
I did something very similar.
Did you?
I did K-Pop Weekly.
There you go, K-Pop Weekly. You graduate and you start talking about broader topics, and you can actually talk with knowledge because you've been watching them and you understand what it's like to be a viewer. And then after that, maybe you graduate further into interviewing idols or getting involved a little bit more specifically.
I just remembered that I actually changed my channel's name.
What's your channel's name now?
I forgot that I changed. It's just my name. It's Ana Carolina Lopes. Yeah, I'm sorry, people. This is how updated I am on my channel. I.
Is it that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That,
But
that,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got it this time. But anyway, yeah, you graduate and you talk about broader things. For me, I just was so ready to try something else because it's like I have so many interests, and K-pop was one of them. But yeah, it was fun.
It was. It was really fun.
It's a good time. Will we be able to watch the stream back after it's done? I just dropped in. Yes, you will, Grace. It's going to be here, and you can watch the whole thing.
Got you. We
Yes.
got you, Grace.
Yep. And you should be able to see the comments, too. They should be viewable, the live comments. But anyway. So, we're going to have to try to figure this out, Anna and myself. We have to figure out what we
Yeah.
want to do with YouTube, when we want to do it, frequency-wise, content-wise, and we will. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I think for now we're going to be doing something weekly. But I just want to make it, to be honest, just talking off the top of my head, I want it to be something where it's stuff that we would already talk about.
Right.
Because that's something I already enjoy so much, and we do that every day. So it's truly just conversations that you and I have.
Yes.
And they're fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how fascinating they'll be to anyone else, but that's kind of secondary. I just want to talk about things that interest us.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens with that. But
Yeah, I mean, it's that thing. Like, you never know what kind of impact or, who else might be interested in something that you are. But every time that we talk about something that we enjoy, I get so inspired by it. And like you said, it's just the conversations that we have over breakfast and over lunch. And then
and over dinner.
And over dinner.
And
We
sometimes
talk
at midnight when we get really hungry, we go to Taco Bell.
a lot. That's true. We have a Taco Bell 3 minutes away. That's not even...
It's too close.
It's the rules.
We should move. I'm not ready for this.
This is not a good idea.
No.
But what choice do we have? It's
None.
right there.
I don't make the rules. It's very important that we respond to our urges. That sounded wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway. CIX? Is that a new group? 6.
Of
So
course.
Anna, you are from Brazil? Question?
I am. I am from Brazil. I'm as Brazilian as it can be.
Mm-hmm. All right, I have to leave now. I hope you guys have a great day.
Have a
You
good
too.
day.
You
Have a
too.
good time.
Bye. What if we just ended like that? Oh my gosh. Anyway, like I said, we have a snack unboxing coming up. So that's mostly for us. But yeah.
Yeah, Taco Bell at midnight is the best date. We just like random dates. Just, going to the park with a picnic basket and just sitting outside to have dinner in there when it's, warm, and reading books together that we can discuss, and it's just nice. Or going to Taco Bell at midnight. You don't have to do fancy things, people.
Mm-mm.
You just have to do things that will bring you closer and you can enjoy.
It's in the heart.
It is.
It's in our hearts. Nosotros. That's not true. I don't think that's the way to do it. I like how Jasmine jumps in. Wait, Josh is married? It's true. It's true. The old ball and chain. Oh my gosh. No, but we've been having fun. And, we're still working on, the whole immigration thing. Because we want to travel a lot, and we can't do that right now because of a lot of reasons, but also COVID.
Yeah.
So I hope that wherever you guys are from, that's getting better in your situation where you live.
Yes.
It's getting better here. There was a spike, and then a huge spike, and then a small spike. And so that's where we are right now, a small spike. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I just hope that everything's going well with you guys.
Yeah. Yes, I would really like to go to Brazil and see my family and eat food.
We're trying to do that.
Recognize.
We're trying to do that Christmas.
Yes.
We want to go.
This is the second Christmas that we're trying to.
I know. We tried to go last Christmas, but then COVID happened. So we're definitely going to try to go this Christmas. So we're kind of fingers crossed. We're praying that works out.
Yes. Yeah. Many steps into marrying someone from a different country that people
oh my gosh, yeah.
tell you about. But
if you're both from the U.S., it's just are you both 18? You don't even have to be both 18. You really don't. I don't know what the ages limits are, but it's so simple. You just go do the marriage certificate, and you get a priest say I do, or just a witness.
Yeah.
And then you're done. You done been married. It's a little more difficult when you're trying to marry someone from a different country, which is what we figured out.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, we just wanted to jump on here, and I wanted to introduce Anna to you guys, let you guys know where we've been and what we've been doing and what we're looking to do in the future here on YouTube and making content. And we haven't been super specific, mostly because we don't know yet. And that's okay.
Feel free to drop your comment.
I'd like your comments. So please comment. If you're watching this, you've already subscribed. So I'm not going to say comment, subscribe. But just comment. Comment. It's not so awkward to say. What if you never say subscribe? It's I don't want to presume and tell people to subscribe. Just comment. Comment, and we'll see you later in the next video. Is this the day that we're going to be uploading, or is it Monday? Monday and Wednesday?
Monday and Wednesday are the YouTube days, but then
Monday and Wednesday are the YouTube days. Okay. You heard it here first. Yeah. Well, we missed you guys too. We missed you too. It's good to see y'all. Good to hear about you guys. Glad we could share this with you. And we'll talk to you guys later.
Yes.
You feel like that's a good spot to end it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you in the next video. Peace
Ciao.
out. See ya.